which Ultra Rare do I not want the most? Out of all the Ultra Rares in this box, which one is like the lowest tier on stuff that I want? Pendulum Paradox? Nah, let's be real here, chat. It won't be the Pendulum spell card, alright? I know I talked a bad shit about pendulums this stream, but Konami wouldn't do that to me. It's going to be the Necros card. That's what it's actually going to be. Oh, why? So that was probably the worst box opening I've ever had to do. But thankfully for me, the latest box, Chaotic Soldiers, is literally a gold mine for content. And I'm not even talking about the SRs and Ultra Rares. Just in the Rares and Normals alone, you have a bunch of new boss monsters. We have Oreo, the Sylvan High Arbiter. We have Vola, the Crippling Methodict. We have Marine Beast, a card that is honestly a contender for the most hideous thing I've ever seen. Or maybe it's just an IRL photo of your average Blue Eyes player. And of course, the ritual monster this entire video is based around. Prediction Princess Tarotrei. Now before I get into the deck list, just a reminder that if you're enjoying any of the content you're watching or find any of it useful, to please show your support by dropping a like on the video down below and subscribing to the channel whilst you're down there. I'll be making a fuck ton of new box content over the coming week, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, so you don't miss any of the good stuff. Alright. So like I said, this deck list is based entirely around Prediction Princess Tarotrei, who is one of the most stacked rare cards I've ever seen, and I find it quite amusing that despite her rarity, her effect makes her one of the strongest ritual boss monsters we have in the game. This card is a level 9 ritual monster that can be summoned with Prediction Ritual, which is a pretty generic ritual spell, but it does come with the upside of during your main phase, except the turn it was sent to the grave, you can banish it to add one Prediction Princess monster from deck to hand. So of course you can search for more copies of Tarotrei. Once per turn during the end phase, you can special summon one flip monster from your hand or grave in face down defense position. Additionally, you can use one of the following effects once per turn during either player's turn. Target one face down monster, flip it to face up attack position. Target one face up monster, flip it to face down defense position. So right off the bat, if nothing else, this card is a once per turn Book of Moon, which already makes it a pretty decent ritual monster. But on top of that, it has a massive amount of synergy with flip monsters, especially ones she can use as tribute, since she can resurrect them from the grave once they're used in her summon. So we are also running 3 copies of Deus X-Krawler. This card is a level 9 monster, making it the perfect level for ritual tribute. Now for those of you that don't know what this card is, it's actually pretty disgusting. When your opponent tries to target it with a card effect whilst it's face down, that effect is negated, destroyed, and this monster flips face up. When this card is flipped face up, all activated monster effects on your opponent's side of the field are negated, and this is a continuous effect. And to top it off, when this card is destroyed, it can actually search for a level 9 monster with a different type and attribute than itself, which happens to be your new ritual monster. As for the rest of the deck, it's basically all searcher cards. You have your standard couple of Senjus, and one Gishki Chain, which kinda helps fix ratios a bit. Since you are running 5 ritual spells, it kinda makes sense to run 3 ritual monsters and 2 Senjus to make 5 as well, then 1 Gishki Chain since it can pseudo-search both of them to make 6 of each. But we are also running the new searcher Spirit of the Full Wind, which on normal summon searches for a flip monster, such as your big crawler. And of course, we are also running Triple Cosmic and Master of Rites to add a little more consistency to the deck, as well as back row removal, which you've all seen before. Alright guys, that'll be it for the decklist part of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay with commentary showcasing the list in action. Remember, if you are enjoying the video or find any of the content useful, to please drop a like on the video down below and consider subscribing to the channel whilst you're down there. Enjoy the gameplay. Alright, let's get into it. So as you can see, this decklist went 7 wins and 3 losses on the ladder. It did have another loss down here, but we don't count that one as I was like, first game of the day, that kind of bullshit. But also considering that one of these losses was against a Lunalight player I had guaranteed win against, only I forgot this card was a once per battle step, not a once per turn. I literally conceded when I had guaranteed lethal the next, it was cringe, right? But that's just all copium. The whole point is to show that this deck isn't that bad. 7 wins and 3 losses, 7 wins, 4 losses, 8 wins, 4 losses, whatever it was, it's a very good showing of the deck. The only real reason this deck loses is because it bricks. It is a ritual deck, and despite having half the deck being searching cards, even a skill with turning Cosmic Cyclone into a searcher, it's still a bricky deck. Unfortunately, that's just how ritual decks are. Especially without Manju in the game. But it's a good showing. This deck is pretty good. I don't think it's anything top tier or meta relevant, but it's certainly good enough to get you king of games, climb the ladder, whatever you like. I did climb a rank when playing this deck myself. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so the first game was against a Harpy player. Now, this isn't anything too exceptional, this replay. It's literally just to showcase the combo, because the Harpy player just conceded when he found out he didn't really have an out to what was happening on board. Alright, so first things first, thank God Harpy is meta, because it means they are running Harpy's Hunting Ground. This means we have a target for our Cosmic Cyclone on turn 1, so we can activate our skill. Otherwise, this deck will be a lot more bricky. Thankfully there's a lot of targets in the meta for turn 1. Gonna activate our Senju, search for our Tarotrei, activate our ritual spell using our Crawler as the material, then going to the end phase and resurrecting the Crawler. Now first thing our opponent does is Book of Moon. This would be rather annoying normally, as we don't really want our Tarotrei face down because we want to use her effect, but we can just chain it in response to flip our Crawler face up. And when the Crawler is flipped face up, anytime our opponent activates a monster effect, it is now negated, which is pretty damn detrimental to how Harpies play. It's literally their playstyle is to, activate monster effects, and they can't really do that with this on board. He realizes that, and he concedes. So that's basically the whole concept of this deck. Either you're flipping this thing face up so your opponent can activate monster effects, or you're just keeping this on board to flip your opponent's monsters face down to disrupt combos and whatever else. The board setup for this is pretty damn solid. This entire deck reminds me a bit of how Dark Magician work, where it's a 3-card combo, but it's a pretty hard 3-card combo to get a hold of, but when you do get a hold of it, winning the game is pretty easy. It's pretty hard to deal with once you get your 3 cards, which is Crawler, Ritual Monster, Ritual Spell. Alright, this was also a Harpy player. Harpy player not playing the field spell and bricking, so this is what we call a bad Harpy player that can't build a deck. Alright, so Cosmic Cyclone is back row, Master of Rites, swapping over. Gonna activate our new Searcher monster for win to search for our Crawler. And there's our 3-card combo. Tarotrei, reviving the Crawler. Goes to our opponent's turn. First thing he does, summon a monster. Then he's going to Elegant Egotist, summon another monster out. I don't want him to do any synchro summons, so I'm going to flip one of them face down. In hindsight, it's probably better to have just flipped the first one face down, as that would have meant that he couldn't activate Egotist in the first place, but that's fine. Swing and pop, and he's dead. I guess to be fair, the other option was I could wait to see if he was going to activate the swapping card, so then I would have a negate on board with Crawler. I don't know. Either way, we won. Alright, game number 3. I think this game was kind of spicy too and really showcased his dex combo. This I think was a Gaia player? Alright, so first thing he does, activate Gateway to Chaos, searching for his Magical Knight. This Maze goes Field Spell in hand already. Using the Galloping Knight to search for a card. And basically, thankfully he doesn't set up any back row, I don't think. But he sets up a pretty standard board of just having your big boss monster on board. Now, our boss monster is actually a counter to this boss monster, as you'll see. Because this whole boss monster's effect relies on its attack reduction. If it doesn't reduce its attack, it can't destroy anything. So Cosmic Cyclone the field spell, Master of Rites, swap over. Gonna search for another Tarotrei. Blessing, summon Tarotrei out. Instantly he tries to use his Magical Knight, but of course, we can flip it face down as a quick effect. And because it is flipped face down, it can't reduce its attack, doesn't destroy anything. And we beat him to death. And resummon our Crawler during the end phase. Alright, searching for another Magical Knight. This time we're going to use our Tarotrei to flip his monster face down so he can't fusion summon. We also have the option of just flipping our Crawler face up so we could have negated his stuff, but his 2300 attack monster then could beat over our Crawler since it's in attack position, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep using our Book of Moon effect instead. Flip the Crawler face up, searching for another Tarotrei. And from here, he's pretty doomed, because as you'll see, desperate attempt to summon another with Magical Knight, but we have our Crawler face up now, so it simply gets negated. Can't even swing over our Crawler, because we've still got Book of Moon on board, flip him face down, and now for some BMing. Master of Rites, search our Ritual spell, going to Ritual summon using the other one. Exceed summon into Dyson Sphere, the vacuum cleaning brand. And beat our opponent to death with it. Alright, final game. I just realized what that guy's name was. Okay. That's a bit of a sus one. Anyway. Alright. So again, got 3-card combo, so we're very happy. Ritual summon our boss, send the Crawler, resurrect the Crawler, set a Cosmic. Our opponent here, trying to use some of his new cards, summons out Arcfiend Black Skull Dragon, which does a whole lot of fuck all, cause we just Book of Moon it. Flip my Crawler face up, now all monster effects are negated. Except the ones that are in hand and graveyard. He'll flip his boss monster face down once again, but we did lose our tray. Thankfully we have Master of Rites still, so we can just search for another one. Tarotrei, flipping his monster face down so our monster can beat over it, and then resurrecting our Crawler again. So keep that in mind, this replay was very good at showcasing this. Even if you lose your boss monster, if you get another one, you can just use your Crawler on board, resurrect it, and then it'll resurrect the, it'll bring back the Crawler. So there's a lot of loops this deck can kind of do, especially considering this card when destroyed also searches for your boss monster. And now it's not in the graveyard, but the other ritual spell can search for your boss as well. So if your boss is removed, there's plenty of ways to get it back, and there's plenty of ways to resummon it again. Especially considering if we use this in material, you can bring it back again anyway. Wyvern's going to bring out his red eyes with a nice little animation. Oh yeah. Unfortunately though, it's not really going to do a whole lot. Tries to buff his monster. Again, we're just going to keep Book of Mooning it. We've got a Book of Moon every single turn. Flipping the Crawler face up, and there's our lethal on board. Alright, so that's going to do it for the gameplays. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Plenty of new box content this week, so yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.